All right. Check 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Sound check, sound check, sound check. Hey. Little pre-show here. Welcome, Chris, Tommy, Marie, Danielle. Hoping that, glad to report that we didn't get any hurricane action here. We were on the wrong side of Florida for all that. And the family down in Nassau did okay too. Nassau was not really impacted by this storm, but you know, as you've probably seen, the folks on Abaco, Freeport, those areas in northern Nassau got pounded pretty hard, pretty scary. But it didn't get us. Kenny's here. Hey, Kenny. Good to see you. Glad to have you. Yes, indeedy. So, you say, Tom, why are you yawning so much these days? Well, I'm trying to change my sleep schedule. It's hard. Trying to get to a point where I can, wake up early in the morning, go to bed early in the evening. And hopefully I won't be as traumatic experience going to Europe. I've never been to Europe. So it's a shocker. It will be a shocker for me. It's about a 7-hour time difference, which is not too terrible, but it's not like when we went to Thailand last year, which was, for us, was exactly 12 hours, which actually wasn't so bad. Gunner's here. 21-foot storm surge. Yeah, gee whiz. I remember seeing the video of the one guy. He was on the second floor of the house, and the waves were hitting his windows. But he was still there, and the house was still standing. It was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. As a former home inspector and somebody that lives here on the Gulf Coast, I saw lots and lots of houses that were damaged by the various storms that we've gotten down here. And then some houses that simply weren't there. I had a client in Chicago that FedExed me the keys to his beach house in Orange Beach, Alabama. Look it up on Google. It's a beautiful spot. And I called him later that same day after I'd been down there, and I said, I won't be sending you back your keys. You won't need it. There's nothing there. Everything was gone. The house was gone. The pilings were gone. The foundation of the house was built on, I think, 12 or 15-foot telephone poles, what we call pilings here, and they were all gone, the whole thing, and I never saw any of it. In fact, that whole area was gone. Rich is in exotic Sacramento. That's interesting. The name of a city named after, I guess it was the Catholic Church influence, but named after the sacrament, which of course is the communion, the bread and the wine of communion. Interesting. And Wixton from Sweden, my new client in Sweden. Well, I'm delighted. Glad to have you. And we're going to get going here in the show in just a second. And Herman is here from Clearwater, which is on the west coast of Florida, near Tampa, and not really in a place where he would have been impacted from the storm, although I know my daughter-in-law teaches down that way. Herman, and they closed the schools yesterday and today in anticipation of all that, but fortunately it was just kind of like a snow day. Jens is here. Hello, Jens. Will I get to see you next week? I'm hoping so. Hoping that I'll get to see you and maybe Marie and Jan and some of the others. Barry's here. Hello, Barry. Good to see you. Glad to have you. Andres is from Sweden. Are you going to be at IBC? Wixton, are you going to be at IBC? That would be so great. Would love to see you guys come on by the vMix booth in Hall 6. Hall 6, we're on the entrance between, let's see, what is it? between 7 and 6. We are right there at the door between 7 and 6. So we'd love to have you. In fact, we're right next to Bird Dog. It's going to be really cool. Marie says, according to my news sources, Alabama might be in danger. The only danger we might be in is a heat wave. Tommy says we have a hurricane wall for protection. Yeah, well, we'll see. Alabama's as safe as it normally is. We have a little bit of coast. Oh, Jens is not going to IBC. Well, maybe that's why I am. Maybe I'm taking your spot. Sorry about that, Chief. Let's see here. What do we got? We got 50 seconds, so I need to get ready to get over into the studio. Jan is here. They will be there. They are everywhere. Hey, that's awesome. Andre says he doesn't think he can go to IBC this time. I think some of the interesting things, well, we'll talk about this in just a minute. I don't want to steal my own thunder. But I think there are going to be some interesting things to see at IBC. And kind of the nature of that show is that it's kind of a pre-show for 2020. And I think that's what they're trying to do with the NAB New York in October. Yep. Marie says, with all the changes in the climate, we might get hurricanes here. Well, I think you probably do. You just don't call them hurricanes, right? Tommy says he's not going to IBC because he can't spell IBC. Well, there you go. Tommy, you need to go to NAB with us one year. Yep. Jacob from Sweden. Very good, Jacob. Jacob, will we see you at IBC next week? Hoping so. It'd be really great. All right. Well, let's get this show on the road, shall we? And we'll get the let's see, get the show notes here. Turn the phone down. And Cliff, if you're watching, we can talk after the show. Am I tapping on my desk? Probably. Annoying, isn't it? Yep. Now I've got to get my show notes here and my my handy dandy X keys. Make sure it's not wrapped up. Whoops. What did I do? I hit a button. There we go. I hit a button. Not hitting a button. All right. Marie says they can't get high wind speeds because Denmark and England are in the way. Oh, that's interesting. All right. Well, we'll have to work on Denmark and England. All right, let's see if we can start this, and or I could just walk over there, and then we could start it. Yeah, let's try that. There we go. I was playing with the color on the camera earlier and thought I had it, but now I don't think I do. Well, we'll just have to do the best we can once again. All right, let's get the show on the road, shall we? Let's make one little adjustment here. There we go. Drop the remote and drop it again. Check 1, 2. Oops. Let's get a mic in. There we go. 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 Okay. So let's do a show. Are you ready? Here we go. Welcome to Streaming Idiots. I'm Tom Sinclair, and you have reached the end of the internet, the end of the earth. You've watched every show that it's possible to watch, and you've arrived at Streaming Idiots. So I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Big shout out to all of our friends in Sweden that are watching today. The crowd goes wild in the background. No, I'm delighted to have you here. And I look forward to seeing so many of you next week, Thursday of next week. Is it Thursday? No, Friday of next week. So about a week and a half at IBC in Amsterdam. I hope you can make the trip down and come visit me and and Martin Sinclair and Tim and the other folks in the vMix booth. They're going to be at booth in Hall 6, booth C13, Hall 6. Booth C13, and that's actually going to be, do we have a graphic on that? Yeah, there we go. It's actually going to be, wrong way, yeah, right up there at the tippy top, right below the big purple one, that little teeny booth in between the purple one and the red one. That is Hall 6, and that's where vMix will be, and that's where Bird Dog will be. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then in Hall 7, which is right above it, will be New Tech. And I think they're just like right inside the door. So that's going to be pretty cool. You can see those. And then Hall 8, which is going to be that kind of that teal one in the top left corner. You can go see X Keys and Yuan and Magewell there. And then Hall 10, which is almost as far away as you can get from vMix, you can see the Ada cameras. And then Hall 11, which is that lime green one, you can go see PTZ Optics. And of course, you know, your IBC app will give you directions and give you all the different building numbers and booth numbers that you need. So that's going to be pretty fun. And we've actually got a little IBC promo clip coming up here in just a second. But before we do, a little bit more housekeeping. The replay class for tonight has been postponed due to the hurricane on the eastern coast here in the U.S. Our instructor, TJ Thompson, lives in Brunswick, Georgia. You can Google that and you'll see that it's right on the coast. And they're expecting pretty significant storm surge, wind and rain, but it's really the surge that is the one that everybody looks out for. And so we'll make plans to make that class up. Next week's class, which was going to be a kind of a review class, will have to be postponed as well. TJ can't be there next week. He's got a gig. I believe he's doing an instant replay, for a college football game, so we'll have to kind of regroup once the dust settles and the winds die down and see where we are on the last two classes for replay. Starting in October, we're offering our vMix 101 class again. That's the basics of live production. That's for folks that are just starting out with vMix and would like to accelerate their learning curve. We're doing a class for 6 weeks, one night a week. Actually, it's interesting. We're teaching the class twice every day. It's going to be Tuesdays starting October 8th. And we'll teach it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and then 7 o'clock in the evening. So if you miss one, you can catch the other. We had a cute married couple last year that, he attended the one in the afternoon and she attended the one in the evening. And that's fine. No, you can't split it up with your company. You have to be married to the person that you're splitting it with. But you can get more information on our website at easternshorebroadcasting.com, and that will take you, I think you can go, where is it? You go to the store, and there is a class in the store, and it'll tell you all the information about the classes and about the class schedule. And so you can get an idea, is that what I want? I will say probably one of the most beneficial parts of the class the last time it was taken from the feedback from folks was that they would say, I knew a lot about this, but I didn't know this, and this that kind of surrounded that. And so for folks that know vMix, it's a great way to expand your knowledge. And for those of you that are just getting started, it's a great way to accelerate your learning and get started on the right foot. I'll be teaching the class, and it's a lot of fun. Probably frankly, forget about my lessons, but one of the most valuable parts about it is the question and answer and sharing time that come after each lesson. We'll take classes generally last about 90 minutes, and we will have a lesson or a presentation that'll go, 8, 10, maybe 15 minutes, and then we'll do Q&A after that, and have group discussion, and then go on to the next lesson. So it's a great way to kind of accelerate your learning and make some new friends. Make some new friends in the vMix community. We use Zoom, so everybody's online at the same time. You don't have to show your video if you don't want to, but I think it's great, and again, a great way to make some contacts and people that you never know. You may end up working a gig with somebody that was in your class. The last piece of business, of course, the whole Streaming Idiots show is sponsored by my company, Eastern Shore Broadcasting. Somebody asked me one day, said, well, Tom, how do you monetize the Streaming Idiots show? You never show any ads, and you don't have any boxes to click or anything like that. Well, the deal is we sell stuff. We sell the classes. We sell probably the most popular product recently has been the XKeys XKE64 replay controller that the folks in the replay class have bought a ton of. This is actually the last one I have in stock. If you'd like it, shoot me an email, or go to our store and buy it at easternshorebroadcasting.com. This sucker weighs a ton. It must last forever. But we represent XKeys and Magewell and Uon and BirdDog, and of course vMix and Ada and PTZ Optics, and probably one or two others that I'm forgetting about. My apologies. We've got, let's see, can I show this shot? Am I allowed to show this shot? Yeah, there we go. We've got 3 PCs here on this workbench. We had to set up a temporary workbench here in the studio, just so that we could have. Where is our take button? Whoops, that's not what we want. Let's try again. There we go. Sorry about that. We had to set up a temporary workbench here in the studio because we've got so many PCs going at the same time, including one that is a dedicated replay PC. Really excited about that. We've built several of those already, and this is a really slick one. Plus, we've got some going to schools and one going to a studio in New York. That's yours, Cliff. That's right. And one we just shipped out this morning that's going to a church in Montgomery, and then another one that's going to a church in Georgia. Anyway, enough of that. I did want to show you. What can I show you? Oh, I do have shoes on. They're Crocs. So but I'm not allowed to wear them at IBC. I was looking for something that kind of fun, and about IBC, and I couldn't find anything fun, so I started to make something, and I ran out of time. So let me show you what I've got so far. Let's see if we can roll that tape. They don't call it tape anymore, though, do they? Hold on a second. Let's see if we got this.
This is the largest show in Europe.
Get ready.
It's a real honor to be here with you in Amsterdam, celebrating 3 of my 26 favorite letters.
vMix 20.
Most important event in the world.
Everything is here. Any technology, any equipment, you can find it here.
And the tech innovation that we're living in is super, super exciting.
It's the best way to connect.
Not coming to IBC would harm our business. We have to be here.
It's a whole new world of innovations, experience.
I don't think there's another opportunity like this.
So we can, my video editing skills leave quite a bit to be desired. I actually downloaded that, or actually recorded that in vMix from YouTube, and then used Camtasia to add some other clips. I don't know if you noticed there were some clips in there. A headshot of me and TJ, and then a headshot of Tim and Martin, and then of course that little clip of Martin and a clip of Tess. I was trying to find folks that I knew would be at IBC, although TJ won't be there. But what are we looking for? What do we expect at IBC? What I expect is basically I expect what I've heard. But what I expect is that we'll see things that are new and different, that we will see them for the very first time. I'm expecting that we will see new techs NDI 4.0. That will be, it might even be released at IBC. I'm expecting that we may see some bird dog critters, some bird dog puppies, or little chicks, what would you call them, that we may not have seen before. I know that because you know it too, but I know that we will get our first glance at vMix 23. vMix 23, 23 different versions of vMix. Holy cow. Holy cow. I can't wait to get my hands on vMix 23 and take a look-see. I'm going to have to get up to speed on it pretty quickly, obviously, but that's okay. What we will also see, Magewell has announced some products that I think only just now are shipping. The Pro Convert line, where they're converting SDI and HDMI to NDI, full NDI. That's going to be exciting to see. We will. We have rumors. Can I say this? I mean, there's nobody else here, so maybe I can say it. We have rumors that PTZ Optics has got something up their sleeve, and that there may be a. How would we describe it in terms of intensity? Yeah, there may be a Cat 5, Category 5 announcement from PTZ Optics at IBC. Everybody's watching the hurricanes now and knows about the scale for hurricanes from a Category 1 or a Cat 1 to a Cat 5. So there may be a Cat 5 announcement from PTZ Optics at IBC. I am expecting that there's going to be quite a bit of news, perhaps more news than there will be at NAB. The news is going to take on kind of I think it'll be exciting, but it'll be disappointing at the same time, because people will be announcing things that they might have a prototype for, or they might not, but not something that will be shipping. vMix is announcing, for example, that's a good example. vMix is announcing that vMix 23 is on the drawing boards, not only on the drawing boards, but in beta stages. And in fact, rumor has it that they may release a beta next week that we can try ourselves and see what's in the new vMix 23 with I wouldn't call it a promise, but with the possibility of a release version by Christmas. So that in a nutshell, I think, is the kind of thing that we will see from IBC, is that people that have been working on things behind the scenes are ready to bring them out from behind the scenes, but they're not ready to ship them yet. So my job as the head idiot is going to be to come up with a list of all that stuff. I'm very appreciative to vMix, to Martin and Tim for taking me over there and giving me a chance to to work the show with them. I'll be representing vMix most hours during the daytime, but I understand that I'll get 15 or 20 minutes here or there to go visit around. So hopefully I can make some reports and upload them. Maybe even if there's enough bandwidth, do something live from the floor of IBC. We'll just have to wait and see. It should be very interesting. This will be my very first IBC. I've been to NAB 4 times, I think. And so that's, a kind of a known quantity. This one will be an unknown quantity, and will be interesting to see. Somebody says, hello, Tom, and whatever, and other idiots, or whatever you consider yourselves to be. Thank you. Welcome. Glad to have you. Ken is here, watching from Northern California. Wixton is here. Jan is here. Tommy's here. I saw Rich and Kenny a few minutes ago, and of course Maria is here. And it's glad to have you guys. I'm glad to have you guys with us, and I'm hoping as many of you as can get out to IBC. Michael Graves is here and says that IBC is much nicer than NAB. It's going to be interesting to see. Somebody was telling me yesterday that said that Amsterdam is not really representative of the Netherlands any more than Las Vegas is representative of the U.S. And of course, Amsterdam is where IBC is held, and Las Vegas is where NAB is held. So we'll just have to see whether we agree with that one. Marie said that she can take Mrs. Sinclair and go shopping. Well, you would have a friend for life. I tell you that. In fact, it would be great to go out with you guys after the show one evening, grab a bite to eat, something like that. Would be a real treat. The value of a show like IBC is, and you've heard me say this time and time again, is that you get a lot of people together with common interests in the same place at the same time. And you will talk to people that go to these types of events, and they will tell you, yeah, I enjoy going to the trade show, I enjoy going to the conferences, I enjoy going to the keynote speech, but it's really the people that I'm with, the same people every year, and new people that I get to meet and exchange ideas with, people that I talked with last year or 2 years ago or whenever, and we talked about something, and now it's a year later, and we can talk about how our thoughts have changed on it, or how maybe we've begun to move forward on something like that. That's the whole reason why I started the Streaming Idiots meetup at NAB, was to give folks that wanted to an opportunity to gather on an annual basis and talk about live streaming using NAB as kind of the backdrop. And my hope is that maybe we can get kind of an impromptu meetup at IBC next week sometime. So maybe if Jan and Marie and Sandy and I are able to go out, we'll put out the call to say, come join us. Would be quite a bit of fun. Martin K. and Martin, I think I owe you a reply to an email from some weeks ago. Martin gave me some great advice on visiting Amsterdam. He says it definitely has more historical charm than Las Vegas. Well, Martin, no offense, but I think Fairhope, Alabama has more historical charm than Las Vegas. But we're looking forward to seeing Amsterdam, taking Martin's advice, and we're going to try to stay in the city center for a couple of nights after the show is over, so that we can enjoy that area without having to take a train to it, a long way ago, and then probably move out to some cheaper digs for the rest of our trip and do some day trips here and there. Marie says Las Vegas has copied all the historical charm from the rest of the world. Well, it is a copy. It is definitely a copy. And Marie has been to both Venice in Italy and in Las Vegas. Well, that's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. It'd be interesting to see which one you like more. Although obviously there are no comparisons. One is a facade, and the other is the real thing. But back to IBC for a minute. The purpose of IBC, in addition to having to being a meeting time, is a place where companies can sort of put a mark on the calendar and say, we would like to have something, whatever that something would be, as a product, software product, hardware product, whatever, something ready to show off at IBC. And I think it's really interesting, and this probably will reveal some of my inherent prejudice, but I think it's really interesting that IBC ends up being kind of this first look, and it's not in the U.S. It's in Europe, and so I'm really interested to see how that works, and I kind of see IBC and NAB as two things, two entities, two creatures almost, that kind of maintain balance. One might be where things are introduced, the other might be where you get a deeper look because now they're shipping and we really want to pay attention. Although my guess is those roles switch depending on the company, depending on the product. I won't name names, but there's a company that I work with that has announced products, and then they didn't ship the following NAB. It might be another year or two before they actually shipped because the technology was a little more daunting than they had anticipated. What does IBC stand for? Well, here in the U.S., there is an IBC root beer that is very, very good, but I doubt if it's the same. I doubt if it's the same root. It was interesting when I was Googling or searching YouTube for videos, and when I put in IBC 2019, I was getting what was it? It was the something like the Indiana Broadfield Church or something like that. Do a YouTube search on IBC 2018, and you might be amazed what you get. I was kind of interested in that. Finally, I had to be more specific about what I wanted. International Broadcast Convention. There you go. International Broadcast Convention. I figured international, figure broadcast or broadcasting, and the other would be conference or convention. Yep, very good. Very good. I'm sitting here watching the chat, and it's very tempting to get kind of caught up in the various conversations that are going on up there and not be paying attention to you guys, but we will try. For those of you that are members of the Streaming Idiots group, if you're not, we hope you'll join. Well, it's not right here. Sorry about that. But if you go to Facebook and do a Facebook search for Streaming Idiots, you'll find our group, and we'd love to have you join. We have about 3,000, almost 3,000 folks in there from all over the world. So it's not just folks from the U.S. Although it is English based, and most folks seem to be able to handle that, or to Google Translate and handle it that way. But it's a great resource for information about live streaming, and of course about this show too. But and many thanks again to Jan and Marie for starting the Streaming Idiots group. But it also is a great opportunity for folks to share information. And one person just recently shared, Mike Dawson, shared information about I guess it's a service. I don't know if it's software necessarily, but I think it's a service that he is providing to live streamers that will do automatic captions for your live stream. And you say, okay, well, we've seen that before, and indeed we have. But what's interesting about this is that not only will it do automatic captions in the native language, you can see where I'm going on this one. Not only will it do captions in the native language, but it can also do translations to other languages. And I'm not sure exactly at this point which languages he's including, But Mike is going to be on the Streaming Idiots show after we get back from IBC, so that'll be sometime in October, perhaps October 9th. That's a Wednesday, so we'll see, and we'll make sure you know about it. And of course, everything is available on demand through YouTube and Facebook. The YouTube version tends to be a little nicer. It's a 1080p upload. No, I take that back. It's a 1080p stream, whereas the Facebook is a 720 stream. You know, interesting side note about Facebook and resolutions. There's been a lot of talk about, when will we get a 1080p resolution in Facebook? And with the vMix replay class, we created a secret group. I'm not going to go too much into that, but we created a secret group, and then everybody in the class was a member of the group, and that's where we uploaded the on-demand videos of each lesson so that folks could go back and review the lessons. If they missed something, or if they missed the whole lesson, they could still get the on-demand version. And actually, we're going to repackage that as a separate class that you can take at your leisure in the future. If you're interested, shoot me a note. We're hoping to have that ready before the end of the year. But when we record the class, we record it in 1080p, 30 frames a second, 1080, 1920 by 1080 pixels in progressive. That's what the P stands for, progressive. And when we upload it to Facebook, it receives it as 1080p, and it maintains it as 1080p. So they have the ability to receive an uploaded file at 1080p, but they're not going to record a streamed file at 1080p, and they're not going to stream it at 1080p. They'll transcode it, they'll re-encode it to 720. So, just kind of a little side note there about Facebook and resolutions. Some people have been able to get 1080p resolution on Facebook. It's not because of what you stream, it's because of their decision whether or not to make you 1080p. But I don't think anybody's been able to do it consistently. It may be perhaps Facebook is just experimenting with it a little bit, and so they're letting it go into the wild for a little bit and then trying to see what the results might be. It's good that they test things before they do. One other last note about Facebook, and then we'll go into the post show, is that for the last, I would say, 6 months, I have been having problems with different parts of Facebook. We have the Streaming Idiots group, and we have the Eastern Shore Broadcasting page, and then I have a page for my church. I've got a bunch of other pages and groups, but these three in particular, when it comes to live streaming, all three of them behaved differently in Facebook. 2 pages and a group. And the Grace Anglican Church Facebook page, the live stream, we have no problems with it. We could set up a stream in advance. It would stream perfectly. There wasn't ever a question. The Eastern Shore Broadcasting page, when we went to go through the page to the publishing tools, and then to video, and then to live video, at that point, Facebook just gave up and posted a notice and said, essentially, this isn't working. This isn't working. But I found out if I moved really quickly and got over to the live button before it had a chance to flash that warning up, I could get into the create section, and I could create a live stream in advance, and that's where it was. And that seemed to work okay. In the Streaming Idiots group, the third case, I could get through all of that, and you don't use a publishing tool in groups. You just click on live video in the group's kind of main feed, and that will take you to the same page that you end up with from a page. But in the group, for that Streaming Idiots group, I would fill out all the information I put in the title and the description. I would schedule it. I would add a photo as the cover art, and save that, and then schedule it, and it was nowhere to be found. It just disappeared into thin air. But what I found is if I went to facebook.com/ and I believe this is correct, facebook.com/create/live, it took me into that same section where I could choose between my camera or connecting, and I could schedule a Facebook stream, and it would schedule just fine. So the reason for telling you all that is I went through that same process today, and I was able to successfully schedule the live stream both for the Facebook Streaming Idiots group and for the Eastern Shore Broadcasting page, both of those with no difficulty. Was really interested to see that, and both of them appeared in the timeline, and so you got to watch them. At least we hope. Anyway, sorry about that. Kind of got off on a big tangent there. That had nothing to do really with well, I guess it had a lot to do with live video. It just didn't have much to do with IBC. Well, let's close out this section of the show. If you got questions, hang on for a second, or if you've got some things that you want to chat with me about IBC or other similar things, we'll come back and do that. But remember, coming up in what, 3 weeks, three or 4 weeks, is Mike Dawson with auto caption and translation. We're taking registrations now for the vMix 101 class. If you're interested in that, go to easternshorebroadcasting.com. You can get more information on that. If you're interested in an X-Keys replay controller or anything in the X-Keys line, we are glad to help you with that. And I would pick this guy up, but he's too heavy. But if you're interested in a PC for live streaming for your church, your talk show, sporting event, whatever it might be, we're happy to do that. We build them and ship them all over the world. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in just a minute with the post show. Stay tuned. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Is this thing on? I'm hoping it is. All right. What did I miss? Let's see. Can we put that up there? Yeah, let's put that up there. Gunner said he's going to miss IBC next week. That's no good. Simple Guy said, that's Anderson, I get hard with live streaming to Facebook as well. I just can't get the stream from my church to work as we stream to a group of members who live in different countries. Oh, gotcha. When I did get it, though, it would not accept vMix as my camera, so I had to give a little time to twiggle with it and just gave up. Yeah, that page, and let's see if I can bring that page up so we can all look at the same thing. Let's just go there, and we'll go there. And patience with me just 1 second. Publishing tools. And videos. Oh, it didn't work today. Well, how about that? I spoke too soon. Let's just do a little screen capture here. And I could have done that better, but sorry about that. Let's see, is that display 2? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So that's what you get. It's facebook.com/live/create. Sorry, I had it wrong before. And I can create a live stream. And I've got a choice of a camera or a choice of Connect. So if I go to camera, it's trying to find a camera. In this case, it can't find a camera. If I can turn on the external from vMix, see if we go back. No, it's still not finding the camera. But I really don't want to do it that way. I really want to come back over here to Connect and schedule. And this is all the information that I would need for my live stream. And then here's where I can schedule the time. I can put a new image in. And once I schedule it, let's just put something off in the future a little bit. Once I schedule it, and then I can go back into it. And Eastern Shore Broadcasting, is that where we were? Come on, it's got to be here somewhere. Well, maybe I didn't do East. Oh, you know what? I bet I did. Well, we've come this far. Sorry about that. Let's see. Facebook. Create live stream. Where did I did it? On my timeline. Okay, so let's go back to my timeline. Yeah, there it is right there. So now I can go in and edit the details, and I can manually start it. And I have an opportunity to go live at this point. It doesn't sense that I'm streaming anything to it, and I'd have to start my streamer at that point. And you see it's got a countdown up here up until that time we put in. Terrible job explaining it, but hopefully that will answer a little bit of Anderson's question. Let's see what else we got. That's exactly what's happening. Same thing. Yep. Facebook.com/creates. No, let's get it right, Tom. Facebook.com/live/create. And that'll get you in there. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't use the vMix virtual camera just because, I don't know. I guess I'm used to using the streamer. Hey, Scotty, I see Scotty's here. Scotty just signed up for the vMix class. It's not the ultimate class, Tom. It's the 101 class. It's the one all the freshmen go to. But maybe you'll meet some freshman girls. There you go. Tom, you need another mic stand. Table tapping goes into the mic. Well, you know, it's interesting because the mic is on a shock mount and the mic stand is full of foam. And the mount, of course, the mount is hard attached to the desktop, but I'll pop it on the desktop. I agree with that. Otis has the same issue as Tommy Willis. Well, maybe we need to go through and do another Facebook thing, you know, kind of a guaranteed this will work if all of the other things aren't working. Tommy says, I thought you had to click on the secure to get Facebook to work. I don't know about that. Probably, yes. Probably. Let me take a look. I think that's the HTTPS. Facebook, create live stream. Yes, use a secure connection. Absolutely. And that's just always there for me. It's always there for me. Anderson's used vMix output or external. Nothing seemed to work. Well, darn. Maybe we can do a TeamViewer session together one afternoon. Get you working on that. Michael Graves says, RTMP direct to Facebook gives you control of the encoding parameters. Absolutely. Yep. That is the beauty of it, because then you're streaming to them. You're not just giving up your camera. Otis says, I use RTMPS in custom settings in vMix and still get no connection via Facebook. Huh. Well, maybe we just need to do a little Facebook run through again. And again, you know, I've got different experiences with Facebook with different accounts. So it's probably it's probably not you. Michael says using the virtual camera external in vMix allows the Facebook upload code in the browser to control all the settings. It will use settings common to WebRTC since that's what it uses. Interesting. Let's see, let's go back in time a little bit in the chat here. Marie says, I had a funny video yesterday claiming that the best way to learn Danish is to learn Swedish and then get drunk. Well, I don't know either language, so I couldn't tell you. Let's see, let's go back here. Jan says, Tom Willis, damn, you are alert today. Nice catch with the secure streaming. He's as sharp as a rivet, he says. Well, you guys can see it right up there. Good point. Okay, somebody trying to reach me again. Yep. Scotty, I'm still on the phone. Let's go back and just take another look a little further back in the chat. And we'll go back one more page. And one more page. So we're back to live time. Otis says, Michael Graves, give us a class. Well, that's a great idea. Michael would definitely be qualified to do that. He is an expert in many categories. Scott says, spoke with Eamon at Bird Dog. Great line up, coming out, taking NDI to a whole new level. Good deal. Look forward to sitting down with Eamon next week and seeing kind of what they've really got going on. Because the vMix booth and the Bird Dog booth are going to be right next door to each other. Scott says, do you pay a tariff if ordered directly? Yeah, anything that comes out of China, whether we get it directly from Bird Dog or through a wholesaler, if it has a tariff associated with it, we pay it eventually. Yeah. Writing an exhaustive experimental series testing webcams with the NDI scan converter. Ooh. Scan converter. Is that part of my toolbox here? Let's see. New tech. NDI tools, scan converter. Yep. Well, that's interesting. Well, okay. And Jerome is here. Hey, Jerome. Glad to have you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, sir. Yeah, my scan converter must be out of date because it didn't do anything. Look at that. That's cool. Sorry about that. Kind of gotten, it's like when you're texting driving down the road and you're focused on your text and you just run off into the ditch. Not that I've ever done that. Come close, but never done that. Have to stop doing that, actually. Yep. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Oh, scan converter runs in the sys tray. Okay, well, that's probably where it disappeared to then. Yep, there it is. Thank you very much. And I just wanted to see what version I had. But it doesn't tell me. So here I am running off into the ditch again. Interesting. There you go. Tommy says, that reminds me I need to update the church computers for updated NDI. Aha. Now he's FBTV. Very good. Michael says, we'll encode the desktop, a webcam, or a USB attached capture device. I gotcha. I need to play with that some more. And it makes it an NDI source. I like that. Let me get this off the desktop here. It's making too much noise. Probably keeping Jan up. All right. Well, that's some text messages from some people I need to get up with. I feel like my time is short. So I'm going to take off. You guys stay and chat as long as you want. We'll let the stream run for a while. Appreciate you tuning in today, and we will, not sure if we're going to have a show next week or not. It just sort of depends on the time and timing. Oh, it says, stop it. Lost a friend from texting and driving a couple of weeks ago. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that can be a very unpleasant surprise for everybody. Yep. So, if I see you in Europe, if you're there, please stop by Building 6 and find vMix, or find Bird Dog and go next door. And I'd love to see you, love to hug your neck, and make a for real acquaintance. So, till then, don't be an idiot. We'll let the stream run out.